Hi everyone, my name is Laurel Weaver, and this semester I got the opportunity to work with Hawaii Initiative for Childhood Obesity Research and Education. This is a topic that I'm really passionate about, especially as an athlete. I want to be able to share my experience, but also learn as much as possible about ways that I can help other people achieve their top level of health. So, about high core. So, like I said, my name's Laurel and I am working in sports wellness. I had the opportunity to work under Dr. May Okihiro. She's a pediatrician here on Oahu, and she's the director of High Core. The overall vision of High Core is to be able to A, research, and B, educate anything having to do with the local population. It's obviously family centered, considering that the population that we're targeting is children. And so we want to be able to educate as much as possible. And they found that there was kind of a missing gap in the learning materials that pediatricians had to give to their patients. And that gap was youth athletes. So I got on board and was able to write some learning materials and educational literature that could be dispersed to pediatricians, families, athletes, coaches, right? So we have all of these different angles that we can try to reach our population. So my learning plan was to run at least one focus group, which was I was able to do two, and find other ways to get a feel for what the themes were here on Oahu and what the need was for information. My second objective was to be culturally sensitive with recommendations. This was really important to me, and it's something that I'm always going to be working on. To work remotely professionally, a lot of this was done on, actually pretty much all of it was done online and was just a ton of research and writing. So I wanted to be able to learn how to do that in a professional manner. I also needed to research metabolic differences between sports. This was particularly important for my sport-specific document that I'll tell you about. And lastly, I needed to learn to convert nutrition recommendations into actionable steps for youth athletes and families so that they can be able to understand how not just science, but nutrition could be implemented into their daily routines. So, creating actionable steps for youth athletes was definitely the objective that I learned the most from. My project, like I said, was to create original documents. I ended up finishing four. So the first one was general nutrition for youth athletes. The second one was sport specific fueling. This is helping people understand the difference between how a football player should fuel and maybe the difference between them and a beach volleyball player. There's going to be some differences in competition, training, body composition, right? So being able to take those complex topics and break it down into simpler ones. The third document was hydration, pretty self explanatory. And the fourth one was athlete's plates, which was kind of the local and athlete take onto my plate. And we were able to distinguish a basic or off season plate from a heavy training day plate in the hopes of helping people understand the relationship between food groups and calories without explicitly describing it. We're more so showing it in a visual representation. This was the objective that I learned the most from because it is going to help me prepare for my career as an athlete, right? A coach and a health practitioner. I need to be able to translate evidence-based recommendations into tangible results that people don't feel intimidated by, that they actually feel that they can handle. That goes right into creating approachable recommendations for any demographic, being able to help everyone find their spot as an athlete or as a healthy individual moving forward. Knowing the target audience and being culturally sensitive are both parts of that. So this is why this objective was huge for me, because I had to be able to really sift out some of the scientific jargon, right, and distill all of that information into simple steps for people to access. My recommendations for students moving forward is one, get in the community, know the people that you're working with and trying to serve. Two, put your own preferences aside and be able to meet people where they are, right? We're not trying to put stuff on other people. We're trying to see what they're open to, and then make small steps from there. Number three, embrace your own experience when working in a group. Understand you've worked hard to get to this point if you're at this capstone. And then four, embrace the experience of others. This is my favorite because I love learning from the wisdom of people who have gone before me and who are doing the kinds of things that I hope to be able to do one day. Thank you so much for listening. I really do recommend HiCore for anyone who's looking to improve their nutrition writing or figure out what kind of role they can play in the service of others. So have a great summer and semester, and I will hope that everyone's doing well. Thanks.